Hi, I'm Jack.
And I'm Sophie.
And this is where we live.
But not anymore.
Well guys, that was a absolutely freezing night. Sophie and I were reduced to getting the space blankets out of the emergency kit just to keep a little bit warm, so it was well below zero. Yeah, so tap is frozen solid, can't get any water out of the tank. Hose is pretty much frozen solid. Boy, I was not expecting this to be this cold. So I've got a little bit of a campfire going over here, and that's going to warm me up. So here we are, right on the fringe of the Oxley Wild Rivers National Park. So we arrived in last night. It was quite late. We were late getting out of Sydney, so we had to set up in the dark. But we're here now, we're all good to go. So today we're going to go and check out a couple of the things that are the attractions of the areas. So we're going to go into Welka and we're going to do some shopping, pick up the keys from the National Parks office and come back. We're going to visit the falls, and then we're going to come back all the way to this campground, which is Moraback Campground. We're going to go past and we're going to go down to Youdales Hut. So Youdales Hut has access via the National Parks office only. You have to make a booking and get a permit. diesel Jeep Wrangler, trying to get fuel into it. When they fitted the car with the diesel engine, they didn't change the filler tube, so the filler tube's still for the petrol engine. Trying to get diesel's a lot more frothy and pick up. It takes a long while just to get the diesel into the car. Really a flaw with the design. Well, we're here at the Oxley Falls. We've just come back from Welco, where we got the keys to the National Park office. We did some shopping at the supermarket, and we found a nice little butcher with some of the fresh meat from this area, which is a very big cattle area. So we're just cooking up some lunch now, having to improvise a little bit because we didn't bring our cooking gear with us when we did going back to the camper trailer. But anyway, we're doing pretty well at the moment, just cooking some meat on the barbie, and we're gonna go for a walk down to the falls after lunch. Alright, I don't know what this is, but it looks bloody good. Got nice Scotch-filled steak, fried mushroom, field mushroom, some cheese in there, we've got some tomato, and we've got English mustard. It's pretty damn good. Alright. Well, here we are at the falls, guys. You can see there's not much water coming down. That's because it's been so dry out here. They're in the middle of a drought. Even though it's the middle of winter, it's very, very dry. The river's almost empty. Yeah, so a bit of a shame about that, but you know, the gorge is spectacular, really. So we're on the Youdales Hut Road, heading down to Youdales Hut. The road's gotten quite a bit rougher and a lot slower going, so I've decided to pull over. I'm going to let some air out of the tyres. In these sorts of conditions, the road's pretty good. I'm letting the tyres down to about 24 psi on the back, 22 on the front. With a light vehicle like that, that's still plenty of air pressure. I find that's pretty good for this sort of driving. Now, the reason I let air out of the tyres is not so much for grip, not so much concerned about grip, but it's more about rider cabin comfort, so comfort for the occupants. So when I do the tyres, I particularly use one of these quickie deflators. When you've got 35s, it really takes the air out quickly. I can do one tyre in probably a minute, so a lot quicker and a lot easier than trying to let it out with the valve stem release tool with your tyre pressure inflator. So valve caps. Always use a valve cap. Can't stress how important that is. Down the valve cap, dirt gets in there, and it's not so bad the dirt that's crusted around the cap. It's when you fill it with air, you blow that dirt into the valve seat. The valve seat has a small rubber ring, and if you get dirt or mud in there, it won't seal. So when you pump your tyres up, it won't seal and the air will come spurting out, and you'll eventually get a flat tyre. So valve caps, absolutely critical. So the quickie inflator, just screw the bottom section on, make sure the sliding arm's all the way forward. Push down and remove the valve. You're removing the valve from the valve stem. When you hear it clicking, you know that's the thread clicking over. So I'm aiming for 24. That's 24, right on. Reinsert the valve stem, couple of screws backwards to make sure it's seated across the thread, and then in it goes. Now don't do it too tight. You just want to go tight enough but not too tight. Then unscrew it, put the valve cap back on, and voila, that's how we use a quickie inflator. Next tyre. Hi guys, so we've left camp about half an hour ago. We're on the racecourse trail heading towards Port Macquarie. We're going to find a nice spot on the beach for a few days down there, get a bit of sun, get out of this cold. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Now on to a product review. So today I've got one of my favourite little camping accessories. It's my Maglite XL200. Boy, what a light this is. I've had many little LED torches of this size, but this takes the cake by far. It is so powerful, so reliable. It takes 3 AAA batteries, and it is just fantastic. I've dropped it, I've stepped on it numerous times. It is reliable. I keep this in the door of the Jeep during the day, and at night I usually just pop it in my pocket so I can spot any animals or anything around the campsite. The other thing I use it for a lot is jumping under the Jeep, doing inspections on things. Just very diverse, very good light. Anyway, that's my product for today, and I'll see you next time on the Unlimited Expedition.